Hello, my name is Bob Enright. I'm a graduate of the class of 1981, majored in business economics, and am proud to be a native San Franciscan, third generation. Also proud to have an uncle that is a Jesuit, and while he taught at University of Santa Clara, I couldn't go there because I knew too many Jesuits. I was able to fly under the radar here, although by the time I left, I knew them all.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Bob. Talk a little bit about what your connection is to USF now.
I'm thrilled and bubbling with enthusiasm to have such a great relationship with the university and the athletic department in particular. We've been through a lot since I graduated with the programs and ups and downs. And my whole childhood I heard all about the 50s basketball and football teams, and the 60s were pretty remarkable as well. And I was in high school in the 70s and came here in the late 70s, early 80s. And then things changed for a bit, but we're on a good track now, and I think it's just a wonderful way to connect with fellow alums and students and faculty, and there's just a wonderful buzz in the air when you come to our games.
What do you think are some of those special memories of USF?
What are some of my special memories of USF is a great question. There are far too many to elaborate on, but I'll just give you a few. One, the athletic program between soccer and basketball. We were on top of the world. 79 with Bill Cartwright, and ranked #1 in the country, a full gym, a lot of students coming together around the athletic program, really spread enthusiasm throughout the whole campus. It was also an interesting time too, as I look back at our student enrollment. You had the Shah of Iran sending an awful lot of students, international students, to our campus. So it really helped open my eyes to the benefits of diversity, which we have embodied since then, and I think it's just a wonderful thing. I made a lot of friends then that I'm still friends with today because of it.
What role did your time on the Hilltop have on you, both personally and professionally?
That's an excellent question as well, because it impacted me personally and professionally in many, many ways. First, I always look back as I graduated from St. Ignatius High School prior to coming here, so it was a natural extension to continue a Jesuit education. And while you might not appreciate it as much while you're in it, as you grow a little older and you look around and see the experiences you're having, you realize that Jesuit education had a profound impact. As an example, Father Egan, one of my theology teachers, who I always thought that his class was the only class I was taking. We had so much homework, but we spent as much time talking about other faiths as we did Catholicism. And at the time, I didn't quite get it. But later in life, as I traveled around the world, as I met people in different facets of life through business, I realized then how important it was that the foundation that the university helped pour for me on that was invaluable. And so I think that students today are still getting that same lesson. So that had an impact personally and professionally. On the professional front, I also learned that after I graduated and entered the business world, that there were an awful lot of USF alums in the Bay Area, and a lot of doors were open that may not have been open to me otherwise. And as the years have gone by, the doors have opened with Santa Clara alums, Loyola Marymount alums, so many other Jesuit universities that I find it's absolutely wonderful.
That foundation has also influenced you to be a special friend to the department. Why do you give back to USF Athletics?
Well, why did I give back to the university is pretty simple and easy to answer. If you are in a position to give, you should. And if you aren't in a position currently, you certainly have some choices to give later via bequest to the legacy fund, and I, for one, am genuinely touched by the establishment of the Father John Loschiavo Legacy Fund, because I had a wonderful relationship with Father Loschiavo, wonderful president, and they've all been excellent in their own way, but he had a particular impact with me.
And why do you think that investment in the future of USF, both athletics and academics, is important?
An emphasis of the future and how current giving or future giving can help is, well, when you get behind the scenes of any business, let alone a not-for-profit, you begin to understand the nuts and bolts. And it's not as easy as just showing up for work or showing up for school. There's so much going on, and you have rising cost of insurance, you have rising cost of salaries, you have all these challenges in the Bay Area, San Francisco in particular, of how do we house our faculty, where are our students going to live. You start to really see that the needs are vast, and quite frankly, they can be rather daunting. So you just can't pass 100% of that cost on to each and every student or family. So we need the support of our alums. And if an alum felt that they had a great experience and they want to give back, it's easy. But if they perhaps didn't have a great experience as me and many of my friends did, well, then I'd ask those folks to think a little deeper and ask themselves the question, what do they want to do going forward? How do they want to make an impact? And the answer is pretty simple. You do what you can, when you can, and you have a wonderful team of professionals here in our development program that can help guide you and show you all the various needs. I'd be willing to bet if you picked up the phone and called the development office that you'd learn a lot, and you'd probably pick one or two areas that you wanted to support now or in the future.
Tie it back one more time to athletics. Why do you think it's important to support our athletic programs, both with donations and attendance and everything else that involved in the athletic program?
Well, I have a warm spot in my heart for the student athlete. I feel if somebody can graduate from this university as a student, they're well prepared for life. I feel if somebody has graduated as a student athlete, that they're extremely prepared. The demands are unbelievably challenging from a time management perspective. I think they learn more about managing their schedules and how do they get their homework done before and after practice when they're dog tired, and that prepares them for life. So I think that if I can find a way to help support the student athlete, they need help with the better facilities, they need quality coaching, they need mentors, they need tutors, they need the support to survive the 4 years as a student athlete. And so I feel that my contributions will help do that, and I'll have an impact, and I'll be proud. Maybe someday a student athlete will come up and let me know how great their experiences was, and that'll make the whole round trip worthwhile for me.
For sure. Thanks so much for joining us today on this Tuesday Testimonial.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure, and go Dons.